Well, welcome everyone. We are here tonight at our Thursday night Skills for Life class, and it is on cause and effect tonight. It's tradition, we do a slight introduction, and I just want to say that the seven principles are still greatly studied, and after 35 years, I'm still learning from them. And it's really interesting that I got cause and effect again
Yeah.
for like the third or fourth time in a row. And I think I'm going to specifically call people and go, would you like to do cause and effect? So I don't have to do it for a while. So here's the seven principles: thought, perception, choice and accountability, cause and effect, abundance and gratitude, health and healing, and harmony and rhythm. And the reason we study them in that order is they seem to build on each other. Everything starts with a thought and then it goes from there, how we perceive it, our choices. And boy, I know that if you do not study the laws, that life can really, really start getting in. I really, the people who are dealing with depression and all kinds of other things, they aren't really studying something in the way of inner work. So if you have something that is really hard for you right now, and I have one, it's called cause and effect. And I get to talk about that tonight because I have a really great learning with that. This whole week, almost every day, there's a new student who is on her phase two, and she is not happy with cause and effect and believing that way. And I was really glad to get on a little early and talk to Tyler because I am going to talk to her about, the things we talked about with it being all of that. But I mean, upset enough to almost bordering on disrespect. And that's what I want to put out to everybody tonight is have a discussion. We could still be critical thinkers and disagree from everything from religion to politics, and we can still discuss things in a respectful manner. I think that's something that's a bit of a lost art in our at least the social media I'm looking at. Sometimes I go, wow, isn't it okay to disagree or agree to disagree? That's okay. So if we go back to the whiteboard, please.
Yeah.
Thank you. So these seven principles, I'm telling you, I've been teaching them for over 35 years and I'm still learning so much from them. Our community kind of things that we do, and I'm starting at the bottom, is the cancel that. That's a tool and skill that when you get into negativity and do it with anything that you think or say, just say cancel that as soon as you realize you're in it, and then replace it with the positive opposite. So what I did is I went after I got another aggravating text about cause and effect and how terrible it is. I went
Huh.
cancel that. Okay. Cause and effect is just something that takes levels of learning and understanding. And it's okay if someone is not understanding it right now. Does that make sense? It's like, okay, so I'm going to refer you back to your technician so that you can talk about that and get clear on it. And I'll talk a little more about that learning as we get into it. The next one is the acronym for pain. Everyone, we spend so much of our lives avoiding pain. And really, that's a simple message. Pay attention inside now.
Mhm.
And it is pretty, I don't mean to sound simplistic, but we are, as long as we're in the human condition, going to experience pain physically, emotionally, mentally, and for some of us, even spiritually. When you feel, I don't know if you've ever felt out of sync with spirit, like, wow, I did something that's really unlike me, or I thought something that's unlike me, and I don't want to do that. I do want to know and live with what I teach, which love is the answer and love is the solution. I want to do that. Um, the two of the universal 2x4 and the Mack truck, those are things to bring your awareness. If things start to go wrong for you, you want to really pay attention to that, especially when it's in the 2x4 stage, because you really don't want a Mack truck. That's the bigger stuff. Okay. Feeling like, oh, I'm getting a wake up call. And my learning is I'm going back to phase two. And I'm going to rewrite that if I need to. Really take a look at that. I'm not going to ignore the feedback or the 2x4, but I am going to take a look at that. The few clues I got, like the word mandate, that's a bad word, I guess. And I'm going to look at that and go, okay, there's probably another word we could use, right? So I'm going to take a look at all that. And then the one on the very top is our 4-step self-care protocol right there. Oh, well, right under HHF. So the 4-step self-care protocol. Has anyone used that this week? I'm raising my hand. Okay, good. I have actually used that in the very moment that there's stuff going on. Okay, because I really want to, you want to be integrous. If you believe in the Rapid Eye tools and skills, please use them. Use them because they bring a lot of relief when you're in angst, when you're upset about something. And plus, you just want to give it a try. What have you got to lose? Not a lot. And that self-care protocol will walk you right through it. I tried to put in every detail I could think of, and I'm open to feedback. Like if Alan looked it over and said, hey, you need more on step 2. I didn't understand it. Then I'm going to go, okay, what do you think would make it clearer for you? I love that. I do. I really love that. As long as it's delivered in the spirit of, let's make this better, making
Mhm.
nobody wrong. And that's what I would say in our communication nowadays is we can agree to disagree. So, and the top one on the back there a little bit is HHF, help my hair's on fire.
Mhm.
And whoever HHFs me, you won't get a text back from me saying, what's happening? What's going on? We don't need to know the story. You'll probably just get, I like to use the universal hands with the prayer symbol and a heart so that we don't need to know the story, but we're going to be sending you energy. So those are our community builders that we like to use together so that you know, communities have their own language. They have their own way. And if you come often to these classes, you're hearing this enough times that I hope when you get into it that you will remember, hey, I could HHF right now. I'm feeling really bad, but I could get some energy sent my way and I don't have to say why, right? I think that sounds marvelous. I've used it more in the last few years myself, right? And I think it's really great to have that as a community builder. So I'm going to put out an HHF right now. I'd like everyone to send Mom Renee some healing energy. Right? And she is just having a few heart episodes. So send her energy and not worry. Remember, worry is a prayer for what you don't want. No worry. Okay. All we're wanting is to send everyone an HHF for Mom Renee. So she has extra energy, positive energy. Okay. So thank you so much for doing that. Now, Tyler, we're going to go ahead and go to the slideshow. We're going into a picture's worth 1,000 words. Go ahead. Okay, Julia Fairchild in Hawaii. She made these presentations and they are available for all of you. Contact us if you would like to do your own and Skills for Life class and have these. This tonight is the principle of cause and effect. And I think this is so cute. Cast your bread upon the water and it will come back buttered. I love that. I think it's awesome. Go ahead and shift it. We are the cause and we are the effect. We are creating our world at this very instant. It is precisely as we think it is, and the moment we take responsibility for our reality will be the moment we take control of our world. And I hope you know that that word control is used in the most positive way possible, meaning that you feel like you're the captain of your own ship kind of control. That make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Go ahead and shift it. You did great. To respond ably, we must be able to take stock of what choices we have made that bring us to the place we want to turn around. Okay? So I'm going to put it out to you. If you explore the word victim, what comes to your mind? Anybody want to say something? Nope.
That if you're a victim, you feel like someone or something has wronged you.
Right? Okay, so let's explore that because I sure am this week. Okay? So, are you a victim when you're 6 months old and someone abuses you and leaves a baby in a garbage can? Is that baby a victim?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Why do you say that?
Because that baby doesn't know right from wrong and is innocent and it just came to the world. It has no knowledge of nothing.
Okay. What is your definition of victim then?
Victim to me, oh boy, is someone that is not healed. And because someone has done something to them, they take it out on everyone else instead of looking inwards.
Okay. So, if that little 6 month baby is not a victim, what is it? What's happening? Is it their fault?
No.
Okay. But the law of cause and effect would say that what you put out comes back to you. If we live in a free will dimension, this is what a lot of the world and what your clients, you will be exploring with them. That's why I'm talking about it, because it's been up in the energy, is how much of what shows up in our world is what goes around comes around, and how much of it is blame, somebody else's fault. Do you see the existential dilemma that you might get into with cause and effect if you were brand new
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
it? Definitely. Yeah. So I am way open to hearing anybody's comments on that. For me, I think to myself, okay, if I say in the pre-existence, say to myself, I wanna learn about unconditional love when I get down there on earth. Okay. Then I come down here, and when I'm 6 years old, I get beat up. Not 6 years, 6 months. I'm just a baby and left in a garbage can. Now, later in life, I get put into the foster care system and I get abused. Okay. And all these things start happening. Okay. Now, I may not have said, ooh, I hope I get molested when I get down there on Earth. I may not say, ooh, I hope someone leaves me in a garbage can. And because it's a free will dimension, and I'm open to feedback, people, help me with this. Okay. I did say I wanted to learn about unconditional love. So probably I'm going to have a few experiences come my way that give me opportunities to really explore, can I love unconditionally when something like that happens? And why do people get so angry? I mean, like angry about the fact that we might attract and create the experiences that come to us. Do you guys have some thoughts about that? Because I really want to hear it. I'm open.
Well, like, I hear it a lot because I'm married to someone who was born with birth defects.
Right.
And he does come from, why me? Why did God do this to me? And
And how does he know God's the one that did it? I mean, in his thinking, do you know?
um, I think it was because, because there is a DNA element to it, because, it's how he was formed in the womb. He doesn't blame his mother. Interestingly enough, it's not anyone's fault. It's, and maybe he blames God because there's no one else to blame.
Yeah, there is that. that that fallacy that if there really is a God, then why would God allow bad things to happen to good people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that?
He just wants to be normal, and there's just no normal when you're born with all that stuff wrong with you.
I kind of am to the persuasion of if we could remember everything in the committee from the pre-existence, if we could remember what we got in line for, you know, might have sounded like a really good idea up there. Then when we got down here and started experiencing, we don't like it so much. But if there's a principle that will piss people off, it's this one. Okay. So much so, you wouldn't even believe what I've been through in the last week. Okay. I mean, wow. So I thought, since I'm the facilitator tonight, and the problem, that this person was having was cause and effect, and I am facilitating cause and effect, I'm going to go to you guys, to my team, and I'm going to say, let's explore this. Because I haven't questioned in myself a lot of the things, but maybe, I wasn't sexually abused. I wasn't in the foster care system. No one, raped me or beat me up, so maybe I didn't think to, go where Eric went, Tanya, or go to, the people who were really severely abused as children. It's not right. It's not fair. I don't fully understand it. But I do know that the law of the harvest, cause and effect, what goes around comes around. Okay. I'm not sure unless I have full knowledge of what went on before I came here. I'm not sure that I'm ever logically going to know till I get back there. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Lynell, one of the things that you brought up about, for many people, this is the most challenging of the life skills to take on. I think the core element for me is recognizing my own accountability, my contribution to the cause and effect playing out, and the buck stops with me. And it's been a lifetime of learning that everything is a reflection for me to learn from. And I'm still learning that.
Even when it happened when you were 6 months old.
Yeah.
Tiny
Yeah.
baby. That seems to be what trips people up is the mean guys, the Jeffrey Dahmers, okay? The rapists, the people who, the sex trafficking people, the people who cause a lot of pain and trauma, okay? Now, when you went to the mall that day, you didn't expect to get kidnapped and put into sex trafficking, right? So, what would draw an experience like that to someone? Now, Marion's talking about accountability. So, because a lot of people struggle with this when really bad things happen to them. And I want my heart to have compassion for that and for understanding that. And when my clients, they struggle with this, or a new tech, a new student in phase 2, and they're really pissed off about it. I want to be able to say it with love and explanation because I do believe it's a law. So, how do we, to the newcomer, explain to them about, well, that baby didn't do anything. It had nothing to do with, it hadn't had a chance to do anything wrong, but that really bad thing happened.
Could I say something?
Absolutely. I'm wanting you to.
Oh, I'm gonna get really heavy here because I take these skills for life very serious, like in a good positive way, right? It's about growth. And I love this because I feel in a safe place to share this. And this is a very long, long, long time ago. So all of my siblings and I were healed and we're in a different level. Okay. And in the end of the day, we chose love. I'm gonna share something that I shared with few people, but I feel like I need to share this.
Okay.
Before I was born, I'm the sixth child of my family, or the sixth baby. And there was an incident that my parents were in the car. And at this time, my dad was a very heavy, severe drinker. And he got so rage for whatever reason, right? And my mom's like 7 months pregnant, and he hits my mom in the stomach. Oh. And it got her to the point where it was bad that she was bleeding and she had to go to the hospital. And so when I was born with the umbilical cord all over my body and I was purple and I couldn't breathe. So the doctor literally had to spank me to get oxygen in my lungs. Well, later on, fast forward, so my mom and I almost died. So going forward, um, my mom tells me in a very young age, around 11 or 12, that my dad, the incident that I just shared with you guys. So for a very long time, I thought my dad didn't love me, right? Because that caused an image that my father didn't love me. So, but what's interesting, my dad has always been a hard dad, but my mom says that I'm the baby of the family and I have softened his heart because after school, when he would come home from work, I would play with him and everything. And I believe very strong that when we do action, we regret it right away, right?
Yeah.
And I know deep down inside he regrets that. And it's interesting going forward. Like I'm, I love God, and I've gotten to know who He is. That I have forgiven him. Like we never talked about it, but I knew about the story. But I'm so close to my dad. It's not even funny. Like my mom was all like, "You should have been born a boy because you're so close to your dad." Like he would do mechanic work, and I was right there always with him. I would hold the flashlight for him so he could get the tools and everything. But we bonded a lot. Like I'm his little boy. I'm his little girl, but I'm his little boy. I'm the boy that he never had. And so we're very close. Like my dad is 76, and I always say, "Hey, if mom dies first, dad, I'll be the one taking you in." And he just laughs. But I love my dad. And he did something horrible to my two older sisters, physically, sexually. And I really believe that we all, because of the gospel and we know the love, because it really comes down to love, we're able to forgive him because it's not a reflection of our actions. It was a reflection of whatever the heck he was going through or the hell that he was going through. He paid it towards us and my mom. And he had to go sit in jail for a good month. to really, the conscious of I did something wrong and this is not okay and this is going to be my future. And so he got the opportunity to get out. My mom fought for him and we just love him and we have forgiven him about everything. I know my oldest sisters and we all have talked about it in our own ways with him, and he
Yeah.
has truly has said I am sorry. And I can't even express of all of that people don't know. They see us as the most happiest perfect family, but that picture, we had to work hard for it to get our real dad here with us and to be connected with him. And he is the most wonderful person in the world. Like, he has taught me so many great things, and also with my sisters. And he's really changed his way around. And he says that if it wasn't for my family's love, I would be in jail. I would be probably dead right now. And so I really feel like we victimize ourselves of what happens to us, but if we do the work, we really choose love and learn that it was that person's um, actions, right? And we were truly the victims. So we could let it continue hurting us or really understand that whatever he was going through, that was all him. It had nothing to do with us. And we really learned to forgive him and move on. Because of that hitting that he caused me, I was slow in learning. I had to take special classes. I graduated a year late from my high school class. There was just a lot of work that a lot of teachers and aides did for me that I'm so grateful for them. That's why I have such passion for our teachers and a lot of respects. And so my left eye was just off when I was born. It corrected itself till I got like 8 or 9 years old. And I had to take like physical therapy to do that. And so it's
You've
just,
had a lot. You've had a lot of things there.
oh, for
The
sure.
point I
Yeah.
hear you making is that perhaps what we considered the negative, bad actions of
Mm-hmm.
others, whether they're a family member or not, is
Right.
how we respond to them.
Yes, yes. And I could see my dad now, and all I see is a wonderful father. And that area has been healed. We've all been healed, and we just adore him, and we adore our mom for the brave woman that she has been and has endured a lot. And I just consider
That,
that real love.
yep,
So
that is a main point there is that we don't know everything
no, we don't.
about why it happens. In your dad's case, it sounds like he was an alcoholic, and
He
we
was. Yeah.
under the influence of alcohol and drugs that we normally wouldn't do,
Hmm.
that aren't like us, and he paid the price for that.
Yeah, he's not an alcoholic no more. He almost died because of too much alcohol, and he really changed his ways. So
Yeah.
he did the work too.
Well, he got the effect of that cause,
Yes. Hmm.
and you all worked through it, and luckily, that is a really happy thing to hear. And it's really good for all of us to study cause and effect so that in the moments that are coming in your life, seriously, when you go, I cannot abide this, I cannot handle it, I don't have the strength, I don't have the faith, I don't have, okay? It's what you study right now that is going to prepare you for those moments because you will have them at some time. Like I said, I didn't have a lot happen to me when I was young. Okay. But man, I got some stuff later that was really hard for me. Okay. And I doubted the existence for a minute of what the hell, it's WTF, right? Why is this happening to me and what is going on with it? And what did I do to bring this forth? Okay. It's the question that we are preparing ourselves for right now. This is what we're studying with cause and effect. That's how I approach it with my clients. So, Tyler, go to the next slide. So, if you are alive, if you are in this class, there are things you wish you could have done or could now do differently. No one accidentally lives a life of absolute peace, joy, love, health, wealth, and wisdom. Because listen, if you wanted perfection, because that kind of sounds like perfection, you could have stayed in the spirit world. Okay. You could have stayed where there was perfection. But we, at least if we're in this class, we chose to come down here to earth and to experience something else.
You know, Lynell, one of the things that has sustained me for so many situations is I go, unless I understand or I can perceive the dark, I will not know the fullness of the light. And that has sustained me.
Yeah. So sometimes you do become aware of some really dark poo poo. Okay. In life, I mean, it's dark. And you think, how can one human being treat another human being like that? Why? I mean, I see it in the news. It's going on right now about, senseless murder and death. And I'm telling you, it's the law of cause and effect that prepares us to go, okay, what goes around comes around. We don't know what those people's journey was. We don't have the full picture, and we won't until we go and get on the other side again and have a full, I don't know if it will be memory or a full accounting, a full understanding of it all. But I do know that everyone is having really hard situations in their life. And when you come to a class like this, you are studying, you are preparing for those hard moments. Go ahead and shift the slide. So, the golden rule we think should work every time, don't we? Treat
Yes.
others how you want to treat yourself, how you want to be treated. Okay, in my experience of life, this is not always true. Now, why am I saying that? What has your experience taught you guys?
What surprises me at times is the inhumanity to one another, the inhumane actions that I just go, how could you even engage in that? And yet, again, it for me, it takes me back. How low will we go to understand how expansive the light can take us, that the goodness can take us? And it is a choice, and you're right back to accountability. Right, it's like,
Right.
wow.
So, I don't know if you can really see this, but it's a meme about Anne Frank. Does everyone know who Anne Frank is?
Yes.
Okay. She was one of those people that hid in the attic during the Holocaust. Let me read you what she wrote here. Terrible things are happening outside. Poor helpless people are being dragged out of their homes. Families are torn apart. Men, women, and children are separated. Children come home from school to find that their parents have disappeared. The Diary of Anne Frank, January 13th, 1943. Well, guess what? I just read a meme of that happened to someone in Minneapolis. Their children came home from school. I mean, it's if we don't study history, we're doomed to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to be negative at all. I'm trying to say, hey, we can get pretty surface with these skills for life, but we can also go pretty deep. And that's what tonight's about. And I know sometimes that what happens to me during the week when I'm facilitating, I bring it in because it's what's happening up in my face right now. And I want my team, and that's you guys. I want my loved ones I want to hear what they have to say about this. Why doesn't the golden rule work every time? Why, when you treat people with respect and you help them and you are generous and you give them all things, and then you hear some of the terrible things they say about you behind your back? That's not the golden rule in action. Okay. I don't quite know what that is, but it's what Marion's talking about. We are kind of inhumane with each other at times through our own triggers, through our own trauma, for whatever reason, right? I know, because I read about him, that Jeffrey Dahmer ate people. And underneath it all, believe it or not, it was a sweetheart message. And that his mental confusion got so big that he did not want another person to ever leave him. And in his mind, okay, he started doing things, okay, that we don't like or want. We don't even want to talk about it. If you study the childhood of Hitler, he acted out his childhood issues on 4 million people who were Jewish. Wow. I'm really glad. I hope that, I would like to think that, that could never happen again. But every time, and they're coming up all over, these excerpts out of Anne Frank's diary, describing exactly what's going on right now in our current world. And I think to myself, I know the world is a beautiful place, except for when it's not. And we're all involved in that learning. If you want to know the heights of spirit and the light, you study the dark. You don't avoid it. You don't look the other way when your neighbor's being dragged out of their house and think it can't happen to me because I'm white. Okay? It doesn't work that way. Things are happening when good people don't pay attention. Tyler, next slide. Okay, we know this law by many names. What goes around comes around. You reap what you sow, the law of the harvest, karma, and the law of cause and effect. I want to say that just because you did something, if you believe in past lives or other, cell memory, my ancestors were mean to people, so that's going to visit my head, karma, however you look at it. Okay. I want you to know that you can stop that at any time through the law of choice and accountability. You can make different choices. Even if you really screwed up when you were 10 and now you're 20, okay? And the whole recovery model is about making amends, and Benet described it so good, with her dad. He made amends and they were able to move past that. But here it is listing this: what goes around comes around. You reap what you sow, meaning if you plant tomatoes, you're not going to get pumpkins. Okay. You do reap what you sow, but you can change that karmic effect of negativity. And see, I didn't used to believe that. I thought, oh, until really bad things started happening to me. And I thought, I honestly know and realize that I did not do anything consciously to call forth this experience, but yet here it is in front of me. And it is for my learning. I'm not going to waste my energy in trying to figure out what I did wrong. How about I use my energy to go, okay, if I had anything to do with what's shown up in my life, then I can also change it. I can show up and create differently, because that's what the divine offspring of God, that's what we as children of God do. We choose differently. We affect the law of cause and effect. And you can get mad about it, or you can study it out in your heart and your mind. And really plan right now, you guys. When I have a client that I'm coaching that wants to be a technician, future pace, and they get to phase 2 and they have a problem with the law of cause and effect. Have I studied it out? Have I thought about how hard that is for someone when they're just becoming into a higher consciousness to really think about, especially if they've had a life where really, not so positive things happened. And any of you feel free to chime in at any time because I feel like I'm a learner this week. Okay. It's been brought right to my face about, someone being that upset and pissed off about this law. And so I'm studying it. So do you have any comments, anyone, before I move on? I really want to hear what you have to say.
So Lynell,
Yes.
in the book One Day at a Time, there's a quote, um, pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. And my take on that, I'm trying to run from the pain of feeling my feelings and pain. I'm not doing it. Pain's there. What I do with it causes me suffering. So pain is inevitable, but my suffering is optional. And that's where coming to terms, forgiving, that's part of the process of pain is inevitable, suffering is optional.
I love that. I love that. So we can actually, if I hear what you're saying, pain's going to happen. Bad things are going to happen to really good people. Okay. How much we suffer from it is up to us. And that's where we can take action. So next slide. The cycle of every creation begins with a thought, which then passes through the realms of mental, emotional, and physical development. And I love that. I think that's a picture of the inner ear, that cochlear. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
It's the Fibonacci.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
And it is also the half view of a nautilus shell. It's it's like a seashell.
The mathematical equation that figures out every little section actually equates to every bone in your body.
Wow. Okay.
And some plants, the way they unfold, like
Ferns will do
ferns,
that.
yeah, they curl up like that and then they unfold. But mathematically, it all makes sense.
No way.
And it's a lot of the building blocks of so much in nature. It's why everything is it just seems perfect.
That's why music and math are the universal languages, because they are the foundation of everything. Music is mathematically equivalent, and math becomes, what the measurement becomes the core and foundation of structure and everything the universe is built upon. It's really incredible when you think about it. I love that Tanya brought that up about the Fibonacci sequence.
I love it.
Fractals, right? And
Yeah.
so,
Go ahead and hit the next slide. The spirit body contains the power to create our existence and all things we perceive therein. Now, why are we saying that right now? The spirit body contains the power to create our existence. So, what is our existence? Is that just here on earth? How are you interpreting that when you read that? What are your thoughts? Anybody got one?
it's the choice, it's choosing in to experience it all. So it's not limited to simply mortality, it is everything.
It is. This is a beautiful picture, but I call it the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, because we are we are choosing in to it all the cause and effect, and ultimately we are one. What's happened to my brother or my sister on this planet as a child of God is happening to all of us. the story may be different, okay? But my friend's pain over an illness or a disease or a divorce or anything, my friend's pain over that is also my pain. Now, I happen to have been through both of those, so I have the physical experience of it. But even if I didn't, I can look at my friend and see the pain, hear the pain. Okay.
And
Look at the,
a very important part about this, the statement, the spirit body contains the power to create our existence. To create is just like, even if I look back at my family lineage and I inherited certain traits and maybe vulnerabilities in my physical health and well-being, and there were, all the dark skeletons that were in my family lineage. Am I bound by those? Am I only limited by those? No, I have the ability to be the creator and to create something different. Study it out, know about it, work with it, understand it, go to the depth,
yeah.
and go through the valley of the shadow of death. But truly, we have the ability to claim that we are the creators.
Well, that's the whole crux of cause and effect. You can focus on the first part of how horrible it is, the things that people do to each other, or you can come to, no matter what happens, we came out of perfection to live down here in an imperfect world. And within that, we still have the power to create just what Marion just said, our existence. Okay. How we can look about it. You got to plan now for the really tough events of your life. And maybe some of us are in them right now. Tough stuff. Okay. And studying the law of cause and effect as I have for years, I'm just, I guess it surprises me. I'm still having learnings about it. I was really shocked to have that person so pissed off at Rapid Eye because of cause and effect and this law. So I need to study it some more. Next slide. The spirit body is the source of all power and creative force. Indeed, the life force we experience in this dimension. It is. But we're also mental, we're also emotional, and we're also physical. Okay. We're here to have that human experience. But if you can remember, here's the point of this: you have a spirit body. Okay. Don't think of your spirit as inside your body, think of your body as inside your spirit. Did you hear what I did? Could you hear that?
Yeah, that's hard because uh, we are very wrapped up in the fact that we're in this body and it's experiencing this and that and the other thing.
Yeah. We have the power to creative force to change it, to change how we think about it and how we experience in our other bodies, the emotions, everything. It's just getting there. That's why you want to study it. Go ahead and go to the next slide. The mental body is the directive body. The job of the mental facility is to make choices. Okay. A lot of stuff happens to us that, we don't really understand where the choice was made. Was it made in the pre-existence? Was it made once we got down here? I don't know that a 6-month-old even knows what a garbage can is, to make that choice. But our free agency ends where another's picks up. Can you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, we're a baby, but somebody else's, they have the free agency to pick that baby up, hurt that baby, and put it in a garbage can. Keep breathing. I know that I am talking about it very straightforwardly, but if we don't talk about it and think about it now, it's harder for us later. we're in the midst of also pain or the pain of our friend. Go ahead and go to the next slide. The mental body is the home of our ego and thus has the ability to see or recognize itself as the source of power or the creative force. While the fearless spirit body can enjoy all experience, the mental body seeks to keep us physically and emotionally comfortable and to protect us from potential harm. The mental body ultimately directs energy. It does. Go ahead and go to the next slide. The emotional body focuses our directed energy into physical dimensions. So emotion, energy in motion. If we don't feel about it, it's not going to happen. We have to feel about it to put energy into it. In Greek, enthusiasm means filled with God. If you don't have a passion for it or a feeling for it, okay, we won't create, it won't come into the physical dimension. So when something bad happens to us, we can think about that in the creative sense, and it can be a really good thing. But think about it from the other side. I know, think about it from the dark side. What is this saying? Help me out here. You got critical thinking skills out there, I know it.
What was the question again?
The emotional body focuses our directed energy into physical dimensions.
So
So
when we're in trauma, it's really moving.
that's
I
right.
mean, think about it. If we're in rage, anger, fear, it's moving. It's emotion, energy in motion. Are we willing to put that into activity about what we are about creating? I mean, in a conscious way.
Yeah, make a
Whoa.
choice. Yeah. It's why people protest. It's why people see injustice and try to do something about it. They have an emotion about it. They have an energy for it. Okay. And that happens through trauma for people who do bad things. Because if you want to know why Jeffrey Dahmer ate people, there is an emotional, mental, physical cause about why people do things like that that seem so bad that we can't even understand it. Next slide. Our feeling about our choice will largely determine the form in which it will manifest. Next slide. One way to direct our feelings to more peaceful outcomes is to clean out our memory files of past experiences which may influence our current perceptions, thoughts, and feelings. If you're spending every day in why did God do this? Why? What did I do? What did I do to have? If you focus there, that's what you get more of. You want more peaceful outcomes? You clean out. Okay. It's why in some trainings they say that understanding is the booby prize. Whether you understand it or not, move forward. Okay. Clean out. Clean out the trauma. It's why we do rapid eye. Release it. Release those past experiences which influence your current perceptions, thoughts, and feelings. Next slide. Our physical bodies are only obedient to our mental and emotional bodies, thoughts, and feelings. Awareness of ourselves as having spiritual, mental, and emotional bodies, which ultimately mold the physical body and its circumstances and environment, is key to directing our own desirable outcomes. Now, for those of you that ever had a physical thing go on, I have, okay? Sepsis was a terrible experience for me. I'm still working it out. Okay. Marion, you just had a big physical experience. Okay. Now, if our physical body is obedient to the mental and the emotional, our thoughts and our feelings. Okay. That's where what you said earlier, Marion, comes in, that we take accountability for what we have created, for what shows up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where the buck stops. That's where it is. But if you try to go straight to there without coming through the discussion we've just had, I think that's why people get so dang pissed off, about trying to understand this. And actually, this is good news for everybody if you think about it. The physical ailments that we have are actually the easiest things to clear up. Why am I saying that?
Because you can process the emotion that got trapped in that
Well,
issue. And
that's right. We can take action immediately on a physical thing. We can go without wasting our energy on blame or shame. Okay.
well, you can kind of look at it like a trigger. Because when you find a trigger, that's where my work is.
That's right.
When you find a physical ailment, what's the issues in there? Because that's where the work is.
That's right. That's
Well,
right.
and that's a vital part, Tanya, is what's the issues in there, because that gets cut short a lot of times when people go and say, oh, I have this physical ailment, here's the golden pill for it, or here's the silver bullet, and they never take a look at how did I create this, or what is the learning in this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you guys got it. Next slide. So I changed my life when I changed my thinking. I am light. I am spirit. I am a wonderful, capable being, and it is time for me to acknowledge that I create my own reality with my thoughts, with my emotions, I would add. And if I want to change my reality, then it is time for me to change my mind. Okay? Understand that the mind was given to us as a great tool to help heal the cause and effect that we do and we have created when we get into stinking thinking. And life changes, relationships shift. We think that we're not gonna, and there was a time when I found out about my husband's first affair, you would have think that the whole world blew up. Okay? You would have thought that life in every form was now extinct. I mean, that's how bad it was for me to be cheated on. I I thought, oh my gosh, I'm a fake as a healer. I've been teaching all this stuff, and look what my own husband went and did. And do you understand what I'm trying to say? And now, years later, I can look at him and say, thank you so much, because if you hadn't had that affair, I might never have catapulted myself into my personal work. Really deeper where it really matters. Okay. Not surface anymore. So I guess my desire in summary tonight is that this law of cause and effect, there's a part of me that never wants to teach it again. I'm admitting it. And there's just because of what happened this week. But there's also a part of me that's really grateful, because if we don't spark deep and real and authentic conversations, if we don't do that and study it out in our own heart and mind, we aren't prepared. Okay? We are not prepared for what comes in our life. And, we want to be, just like if there's an ice storm, you want to be prepared for it. And that's the beauty of the law of cause and effect. Don't use it to beat yourself up. I sure have at different times. Don't use it for that. Use this law to study it out in your heart and your mind, and be okay with how I can take this law and use it for me instead of against me. Okay. So Tyler, you have a song for us tonight?
Yep.
Okay.
I wrote this reflecting on Anne Frank and Viktor Frankl.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
I did read Man's Search for Meaning this week, by the way. I reread it.
Wow.
Yeah.
My mouth to cooperate here.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't need your theater with Punch and Judy, I'm not fine. They're made to look like enemies, only I see a guy behind. The cardboard stage with both hands running up the spine of hijacked puppets, dishing out black eyes. One may look as though they've won a trifle over fight, meant to make me feel good for having never picked a side. And when the show is over, it's quiet for a time until I realize Puppet Man made off with my dime. Something's making noise, and that something needs no name. If it's an enemy to kindness, I'm exposed to being played. So I play my part, not just part of it. Puppet Man can make his movie, might place me on a square. Only I control my mood, I can pass along everything passed along to me, or I can stop it in its tracks and set a new current free. I don't know what thief my strength, and so much less my time. I won't give my energy to a peddler for my mind. Can't control the chessboard, only where I now step. Nobody owns me, and my space is not for rent. Whether I find myself at the beginning and the middle, I can make my own wave, even inside a ripple. I may feel like I'm in Wonderland, the rabbit hole runs deep. The ostrich holes no better, blocking information feeds. Wisdom's telling me, don't get stuck in either one. And awakening's at hand, this time the prompt is mine to run. Sharks are always there at times, making money out of strife. They'll even open prior wounds and get everyone to fight on both sides. We might reveal a mix of truth with lies as we wonder what happened to two wrongs don't make a right. Something's making noise and that something needs no name. If it's an enemy to kindness, I'm exposed to being played. So I play my part, not just part of it. Puppet Man can make his movie, might place me on a square. Only I control my mood, I can pass along everything passed along to me, or I can stop it in its tracks and set a new current free. I don't know what thief my strength, and so much less my time. I won't give my energy to a peddler for my mind. Can't control the chessboard, only where I now step. Nobody owns me, and my space is not for rent. Whether I find myself at the beginning and the middle, I can make my own wave, even inside a ripple. Tranquility among us is often tested for some gain. If it jeopardizes peace, somewhere it's just bait. Opportunists for such things often lie and wait to draw upon our actions, hoping we'll fall in love with hate. Well, love's a higher thing, it plays itself on higher strings. It cuts through the many lies, making my world more discerning. It's more than just affection, it escapes things that destroy. I'm gonna own my space right now so nothing else can fill the void. Something's making noise and that something needs no name. If it's an enemy to kindness, I'm exposed to being played. So I play my part, not just part of it. Puppet Man can make his move, he might place me on a square. Only I control my mood, I can pass along everything passed along to me, or I can stop it in its tracks and set a new current free. I don't know what thief my strength, and so much less my time. I won't give my energy to a peddler for my mind. Can't control the chessboard, only where I now step. Nobody owns me, and my space is not for rent. Whether I find myself at the beginning and the middle, I can make my own wave, even inside a ripple. There's a fear that's a construct, and it's all human made. It keep me blind and running all my life throughout a maze. It's time to question everything, not just the confines of the cage. Reflects the provocation, only keeps me in a game. Out on the track, a better place on a name. I may feel victory if my hero gets first place, and laughing all the way to the bank. Someone else is getting more than just paid. Puppet Man who owns all the horses in the race. Divide and conquer is not a new thing. Neither false cohesion or mob mentality. Both are used to take advantage of me. Whether I find myself at the beginning and the middle, I can make my own wave, even inside a ripple. something's making noise, and that something needs no name. If it's an enemy to kindness, I'm exposed to being played. So I'll play my part, not just part of it. Puppet man can make his movie. My place me on a square, only I control my mood. I can pass along everything passed along to me, or I can stop it in its tracks and set a new current free. I don't know what thief my strength, and so much less my time. I won't give my energy to a peddler for my mind.
Wow. I need to watch that again and catch it all. That was awesome. Thoughts, anyone?
Inspired.
That was cool.
Powerful.
Well, I want to watch that again. Sometimes I'm not as quick as I want to be with rap, even though I like rap. It goes a little fast for my psyche, but I want to learn from that. Those lyrics were powerful. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. Thank you for talking about something tough. So I really appreciate that you were here and listening. And thank you for everyone who participated and said what they thought. I really appreciate it. And I'm at the time in my life now, in the position I'm in life, I get faced with some tough stuff. I'm not saying poor me. I'm acknowledging that, wow, I called forth some situations that I get to handle that are tough. And I want to study it out in my own heart and my own mind so I have tools and skills for when it happens. That's the whole point, right? The whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you for that song. Thank you, Alan. Thank you guys for being the tech. Thank you all for attending. Thanks for tuning in. And I hope that this was beneficial for you. I hope it took you to a thinking, considering place, just for what's going on in the world today. So, love you all.
Love you, everyone. Thank you, Lynell.
Thank you, Renee. Thanks for coming.
Of course. Thank you for uplifting me. I love it.
Okay.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Great topic, Lynell. Thank you. Thank you for sharing from your heart.
Oh, you are welcome. Yeah, I'm telling you. Nobody needs to study more than me. The older I get, the less I know. It's really a travesty. Love ya.
You too.